I imagine it's even more difficult under the glare of all of these cameras and all of the media attention, as much as I'm sure they appreciate the outpouring of love and admiration that we have all been listening to and viewing over this last week. And of course, this is a very somber moment as her casket is being brought to the hearse here in Americus, Georgia, as we begin these 3 days, really, Joy, of saying goodbye to Rosalynn Carter.
Yeah, it really isn't just seeing this moment of her remains actually being transferred to a hearse. It becomes very real. I personally, not to editorialize, can really feel the emotion as we watch this unfold. And you see, she is being accompanied by past and present members of her Secret Service detail, and the Secret Service members are trained to be tough and stoic,
Dispassionate.
That's right. But I really sense a lot of emotion in this group of strong men. I sense really their grief and just the body language, and you can see they're bowing their heads.
Well, I think the fact that they are there, that they were asked to perform this solemn duty to accompany her one last time. I think that U.S. presidents and members of their family, including first ladies, have Secret Service protection, not only while they're in office, but even in their post-presidency. And of course, for the Carters, this is a post-presidency that has lasted very, very long. I mean, I believe he left office in 1981. So this has been decades and decades that Mrs. Carter and President Carter have been out of office, and yet they have still received the protection of Secret Service agents. And so the fact that that they developed such a relationship with them, a professional relationship, but I'm sure in many ways a personal relationship, speaks, to, just how much they cared for the former First Lady, that they're here and they're performing this important job today.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And absolutely. And this is one important stop on the motorcade, and you're probably wondering why is this casket being loaded here? Well, of course, as we've been mentioning, this is really almost a week full of events to remember this life lost, and this hearse is going to now join the motorcade, depart the grounds of the Phoebe Sumter Medical Center, and take a public route to nearby Georgia Southwestern State University in Americus. And of course, that was the alma mater of the former First Lady. But it's so important, this public route, because it's not just the members of the Secret Service, it's not just friends and family or the people gathered here at Phoebe Sumter Medical Center. It is really the entire community that is mourning the former First Lady. And these various stops, these routes, are giving the community the opportunity to say their goodbyes as well.
That's right. People will be able to line the route as the procession makes its way to the university, and then makes its way down to Atlanta, or up to Atlanta is more geographically correct, north to Atlanta, where there will be a chance for the public to come and pay their respects at a public viewing, as the First Lady will lie in repose in the lobby of the library at the Carter Center. That'll take place later tonight. And I really do think that we're going to see a major turnout of people here, people from Georgia, and people who may have traveled here from other parts of the country. This is really the one chance for the public to come and pay their respects. And I think that the Carters and Mrs. Carter were so beloved here in Georgia that there are going to be a lot of people who will want to come and do that sort of, in a public way. Because a lot of the other events over the next 3 days will be private. Understandably so. There will be family and just invited guests, including President Biden and the First Lady. Vice President Harris and her husband will be there as well, and other dignitaries will be there. But these are the public moments that the public can play a role in and take part in, and I think there's going to be there'll be a lot of people who will want to do that tonight. Absolutely,
and despite the overwhelming grief that everyone involved in this event is undoubtedly feeling at this moment, I am just so impressed by the discipline being exercised by this team in really sticking with the schedule of events in order to really give the members of the public a chance to say their goodbyes, and right on time, as planned, 10:40 a.m., the motorcade departing the grounds of the medical center in this public route to Georgia Southwestern State University for the public to get their chance to say goodbye. And again, Ms. Carter is an alumnus of Georgia Southwestern State University, so another important stop along the way, an important place where more of her admirers, of not just friends and family, but really admirers, will say their goodbyes as well. And I know, Rick, that you've spent many years covering the Carters, the Carter family. Any other insights or even memories that you want to share?
Well, I think that the main thing, is that sets President Carter and Mrs. Carter apart from other former presidents and residents of the White House is the career and the lives that they led after leaving public office. You don't typically, we have not typically seen very many former presidents leave office and then go on, for example, to win a Nobel Peace Prize, the way that President Carter did in his post-presidency. And of course, Mrs. Carter was very, very involved with her husband in many of the endeavors and charitable works that they did with Habitat for Humanity, for example, and seeing the Carters, up until only a couple of years ago, they were able to go out and actually help to build homes with Habitat for Humanity, literally holding the tools and hammering the nails and doing the work, and that is something that I think has earned them the admiration and the respect of people across the political spectrum. Of course, he was a Democrat. He was a centrist Democrat who was governor here and president for one term. He was voted out after only one term. He didn't get to serve two. But then it's his post-presidency, and along with Mrs. Carter, that I think has allowed the two of them to really rise above a lot of the partisanship that we typically see when we talk about, people in public life, elected office, as the procession now leaves the hospital on its way to the university, and we watch it go. I think that's really what distinguishes President Carter and Mrs. Carter from other former inhabitants of the White House, is the way that they dedicated themselves to philanthropy and to helping others once they left office.